What is up, you beautiful bastards? It is a Friday night. It is 9:18 p.m. Eastern. That means only one thing. Late Night with Take 3 is back once again. Episode number 39. As you can probably see in the thumbnail, our theme today is movie monsters with the release of The Meg today, starring Jason Statham, Rainn Wilson, and other people. But before I talk about The Meg, or we talk about The Meg, I introduced my panel today, and starting with the producer, the man behind the scenes, sort of the head honcho of Take 3, the Cobblepot Commander, Chris Clark. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Brooklyn. It's been a hot minute since I've been on this show. We are now here live with OBS. Usually Friday nights are really, really stacked and busy for me, but today I was able to make an exception. So let's rock this sucker, Brooklyn. Let's rock this sucker to the end of time.
All right, and joining us today as well, fellow member of Take 3. You can find him on various trivia leagues and on Rankem on Sunday nights. He is the Crusher, Malcolm Goldie Lane. Malcolm, how you doing, bud? I'm
pretty good. It's been a while since I've been on as well. Been quite busy the past few Saturdays, but I'm glad to be back, and I'm determined to take that belt off Matthew.
Making his return as well to Late Night with Take 3, you can find him on Multiplex Entertainment, running around the league with Nico, and not answering questions about favorite sandwiches anymore. He is the Cosmic Night Fury, Nico Goalie. Nico, how are we doing?
Yeah, I'm here, so so people can get an easy win to challenge Matthew later on today in the debate portion.
And joining us as well today, making his debut on Late Night with Take 3. You can find him in various leagues, but I guess more so one of the editors and co-hosts of the Worldwide Movie Trivia League. It is the Big Papa, Jeff Farley. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic tonight. I'm excited to be welcomed onto here to Late Night with Take 3. I thank you all very much for having me, and ready to have a good time.
And last but definitely not least, our reigning and now defending Late Night with Take 3 mini speed RWP champion of the Worldwide Movie Game Network Association, the minor thrust, Matthew Rosa. Matthew, how you doing, and how do you feel about movie monsters?
I'm reigning, defending, and undisputed. I do feel very good about movie monsters. I am a huge fan of a lot of the old Godzilla movies from the 60s and 70s. Used to watch those VHS tapes with my dad all the time. He was a big import guy. Also why I was raised on Pride Fighting Championships. He imported those tapes from Japan. That's kind of the way it was. And so I'm looking forward to debating people who probably know a lot less about kaiju than me.
All right, very interesting. So what we're going to do for the start of this, as you have probably heard throughout the community, it is unfortunate that Kevin Harloff, he announced the news earlier this week, the passing of his brother, Kevin. There has been a GoFundMe page set up to help with the costs, as these things can get pretty costly. So this weekend, we at World of Movie Games have set up a few matches. It's kind of special ones that we do for Saturday. So the first match that we'll be covering is in the singles division of WWMT. We have Abe Flores versus Russell Howell versus Thomas Eames. And kind of on paper, these are guys that, to call a spade, they're often shadowed by their team partners. I mean, with Abe, you have the very loud, very hot take Evan DeGraff. Russell Howell, you now have Showdown competitor Chance Ellison, and then Thomas Eames. I mean, Alex Warren is pretty loud. He makes his presence known. I think this will be a pretty close match, but I want to go to Jeff first, our new panelist. What do you think about this match, and what are some keys to victory, I guess?
Well, I was actually there for this match. I was actually there to record this match. Without giving much away, I would say, looking at these three competitors, yeah, like you said, these were three that were living kind of in the shadows, in a way, of their other teammates. But they were all very good in their own right. I think they all just needed that moment to shine. And they put on quite a show. I can tell you that for right now. Without spoiling anything, this was definitely a match.
I'm going to go to Nico next. Nico, as somebody who is kind of a very promo-heavy person, I look at these three panelists who aren't super promo-y. They're kind of more sportsmen. They don't really put on a character. But of these three, who do you think has the best promo game?
Well, I don't know if what you just said is accurate in terms of Abe. Now, granted, he doesn't say like an organized promo, but the things that do come out of his mouth are hilarious. So
Yes, they are.
Whatever he lacks in scripting a coherent thought, he makes up for with randomness and insanity. Since Multiplex started, Russell Howell has been on somewhat of an unlucky streak. He had a bad go in his one and only Phantom Fight appearance. Then he tried TV Throwdown. That didn't work out well for him either. And then he went into a Full Metal match that I was in. Somehow I did better than he did, and he went out first out of the 5 people that were competing in that match. So I'm very interested to see if Russell can get back on track. Thomas, he's a beast. He's a beast. It's just a matter of how beastlier are the other 2 competitors on that day.
Actually, kind of a great segue. I go to Chris next. Chris, you are unfortunately familiar with slumps. You have unfortunately been able to get a win in singles teams or Full Metal.
Shut the fuck up. Look, what I have to say here is this, and this alone. You say that Abe can't do a promo. Abe actually, if you watch the Schmoedown trivia, Schmoedown killed his promo there. He really is good on the mic when he needs to be good on the mic. And also, Abe is a Schmoedown encyclopedia. So, what I've seen from him match-wise, he can really focus on the game. And what did you just write to me, Nico? What did that say?
I believe it said hashtag Jack Frost.
Okay, can you just go and shove that up like some sort of Bikini Babe Barbie? I don't know. But look, what we're going to say here is this. Everybody playing in that triple threat is a piece of shit. I don't like Abe. The other guy is from Vomit Nation, and I don't know who the other guy is. So it's going to be fun to trash talk these guys. I can't wait to actually see it, because these guys actually, kayfabe aside, seem like really good guys, and I can't wait to see how they perform. I can't wait to see it, because it's airing tomorrow for the marathon, and it's just gonna rock. So I mean, it's heads or tails. I think I have Abe winning this because of the Take 3 loyalty. I would like him to. If he loses that, is this like is this for a #1 contender spot,
This
right?
is
This will be for a #1 contenders.
Then no, I don't want a Vomit Nation or Abe to get that. So Thomas, you got this. You're the train that's chugging.
Well,
his name's
I have
Thomas,
some bad
right?
news for you. So Thomas is actually a member of his name is Thomas.
Oh, okay.
He is a member of Abomination. Russell
Wait a minute.
Russell isn't a member of Abomination.
He's
He's a member of the Wild Bunch.
Oh yeah,
Wild Bunch.
then Russell's got this. Screw you, Thomas. Russell's
So
got
now,
this.
so my question now, you mentioned #1 contenders. I'm going to go to Matthew next. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the winner of this one plays Paul Oyama and Jake Marignoni for a #1 contenders match.
Yes, the winner of that.
The win. Yeah. So Matthew, the question for you: the winner of that match was on to face those 2. How would you feel about going up against Paul and Jake?
Yeah, I feel like this match is irrelevant in comparison to who they're about to play. If you're going to play Paul Oyama, you're going to lose to Paul Oyama. It's no secret that I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's one of the most entertaining guys in the community, and I think he is going to give it Jeremy a run for his money. So I look forward to seeing. If I'm going to place my bet, I got Russell winning this, but I am very interested to see how he does against Oyama.
And Malcolm, very quickly, your thoughts on the match, and what does this mean for the competitors? Like, if you lose, what is your game plan going into your next match?
I'll probably in the next match, like the game plan will probably be look at what you kind of struggled on and study hard on your weaknesses and try and balance out your strengths more so you can get the win next time.
All right. So yeah, that is. I think that's the first match that's going up, right? And then the second one is going to be one that's been kind of building up for a little bit. If you watched Zaddia Smith versus Dan Scavallon in Jukebox Trivia way back in, I believe it was either Jam June or the late or the I think it was Jam June.
It was May.
It was May.
I think it was May or early June. It might be one of the 2.
It was either the last match of Manic May or the first one of Jam in June. But anyways, you would have seen Dan Scavallon first off go on a rant about Despacito. Then second of all, sort of get into like a tiff with Chris Clark. This then turned into a rock and roll match, and then somehow turned into a Billy Joel match. And then Jeremy Adams got thrown into the picture. And then we had just recently with the Billy Joel playlist / shit on Brooklyn's music taste for 2.5 hours. Yep. Cody Newberry got thrown into the mix, and then I had some great question writers as well. Matthew Rosa and Caleb Coho. They're actually going to be hosting the match. I will be away with a prior commitment. But Chris versus Cody versus Dan, and then even the potential of Jeremy, crossing our fingers that he's able to get work off. I want to go to Malcolm first as a Billy Joel fanatic yourself, and somebody who has competed in one of these specialty Iron Man matches. Who do you think's going to win and why?
This is really hard to pick because after being on the Billy Joel playlist, both Cody and Chris are really big in their knowledge of Billy Joel. And this is awkward because a combination must take 3, and I do actually think Chris might come out on top, just been a very close match. All right.
Nico, I want to go to you next. As somebody who has competed, I think the last, other than the Weird Al match, I think you're the last person that's been in an Iron Man match, the Star Wars match against Case. Who do you got in this, and why?
Well, I can tell you I'll be rooting for Dan, but I don't know if he'll necessarily win. All I can say is this is going to be very entertaining because you have 3 of the loudest personalities at once, and also if you throw Jeremy in there, then you've got 4 knowledgeable minds all in there as well. So either way, you guys are in for a treat with that match.
It's going to be very exciting for sure. Jeff, as somebody who made their debut in Jukebox Trivia not too long ago, with the Weird Al Iron Man match as well, there were some pretty deep cuts. I know it was kind of made reference to in the playlist, but the person who called up the match didn't actually win. So what do you think? Should Chris be scared because the person, people who have called out matches are actually 0-for-1 and wins? I believe a certain panelist by the name of Matthew fucking Rosa made that bird, by the way.
Yeah, people who initiate a call-up match statistically don't do well. But I'd say Nico. Yeah, we've all been guilty in some ways, but I think we're gonna get a good showing regardless of how this match goes. I think I'd say like it was said, we got very dynamic personalities in the ring who I think can really back up their knowledge. So I'm kind of withholding a vote. I want to see what happens. I think it's gonna be an interesting match.
Matthew, I'm going to go to you next as somebody who has helped write questions but has seen the questions from myself and Caleb Coho. What should our competitors be expecting?
Hell. You should be expecting hell. I scrolled through that document expecting to see, what year was New York State of Mind released? No, nothing like that.
1976.
You wish it was that easy. It's brutality. It's a lot like when I got into the Weird Al match, and I was expecting to go 50-50, and I ended up getting 30 correct. It is going to be rough. And can I do my who you got?
Yeah, sure.
Cody, just so that I can hear him yell about you holding him down.
And last,
KO, I got you, brother.
And last but definitely not least, Chris, tell us why you're gonna go perfect and why I'm gonna have to watch We Didn't Start the Fire for 90 minutes live on stream. Just go on.
I mean, I hope I go perfect, but honestly, this is gonna actually show people that at least know trivia. Look, Billy, I've grown up with since I was a kid with my dad, but also on top of that, I am familiar with Billy from a musical standpoint because I do a Billy Joel cover band along with the Meatloaf cover band, and I know these songs inside and out. Even if we've never performed them live, we've rehearsed them, and I know the chord progression of almost everything. It's gonna be interesting. I know that when I wrote the Weird Al match, I put in a lot of live questions. I assume that that's probably going to be the same case with this, and I'm excited. I am also scared about how Cody and Dan are going to do with that, because I know Cody is big on Billy. I don't know Dan, and I know Jeremy's big on Billy. So we're going to see how it goes. I hope that I do good. I hope that Brooklyn listens to Read and Start the Fire for like however long, because I know that there's probably going to be a couple questions in there that are going to be impossible. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope, Brooklyn, that you're going to be able to watch it at least live or wherever you're going to be doing, because this is going to be a barn burner. I'm excited.
I'm hoping that I can. I think when this goes live, I'll be on like the last. I'll be on my way there, so I might be able to catch a little bit. But yeah, I'm very excited to see this one. I'm sad that I'm not able to make it, but I have Matthew Rosa, Gail Coho. I have my channel, I guess, and my league are in great hands, and I know they'll be able to put on a hell of a show. So I'm very excited. And then I guess the final match of the night is going to be a Full Metal regular season match, but some very loud, very boisterous personalities. You got the Night Fury himself, Nico Suave-Ergoli. You got Malcolm Goldie Lay. You have Emma McAllister, who is potentially going to bring in her friend Dollface. We're not sure. And we're going to see Brian Fernandez, who might potentially bring in the Purger. We're not sure. And we're going to see Andrew Hayes, who might potentially bring in the Red Ranger. No, he's not the Red Ranger. Sorry, the Dude, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, Nico, tell us why you're going to win.
I would like to believe that this is the most winnable Full Metal match I've been a part of so far. It's all going to come down to the questions for me. I'm not going to toot my own horn here because every time I've done that so far, the horn has tooted back and it's been rough. Last time I was in the Full Metal ring, I did so well it even shocked me. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping lightning strikes twice. And this time I'll be in the winner's circle. But, we're doing it for a good cause, so I won't be upset if I don't get in the winner's circle.
Malcolm, tell us why you're going to win.
Yeah, I kind of jinxed myself by doing the same thing, so I'm not going to do that. But last time I was in, I'm pretty sure I got to at least round 3. So if I can do that again, get past Nico, I'll be happy.
Matthew, I correct me if I'm wrong. I believe as somebody who has won of a Full Metal match, or you haven't won. Okay, second place. Okay, so what are keys then to getting?
Get the Beatles as your category. Wait, that doesn't work for everyone, but it works for me. Basically, that's your best hope. Is you gotta really hope for a category you're good with in the second round. So try to do really well in the first round so that you can get a category that you're really good in the second round. There you go. The person who answers the most questions is going to win.
That sounds like a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Jeff, I rhymed off the panel there. Emma, Brian, Malcolm, Andrew, and Nico. Who are you looking out for, and who is the dark horse?
Going off of Rosa's comment really quick, it was very much John Madden, like, whoever gets the most points comes out the winner. Like that, just like what it screamed to me. But going off of the panel again, yeah, you got some heavy hitters in this game. I mean, I gone up against Malcolm in our team match over at Worldwide Movie Trivia, and he's no joke, guys. I would say Nico, he's good. He's really good. I'd be scared for him. I want to see what Dollface is going to bring. I was like, because she intrigued me in her debut, and I want to see what she could bring to the table. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, this match. I can't wait to see how it goes.
And last but definitely not least, Chris. Chris is somebody who had made one of the greatest debuts in full metal. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep a straight face. Chris, who do you got? Why?
Well, Emma likes to talk a lot of shit, and it's hilarious. Nico bore. Yes, look, whatever the bore was that I said, I literally was winging it. I didn't know any of those questions. Don't think I threw it. I didn't know it. I went white room. I probably was drunk. But the other thing is, though, this panel of people, almost 90% of them I have beef with, and I don't know how to feel. I have Malcolm, who is part of Abomination, right? Malcolm, you're part of Abomination, right? Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Then you have Brian Fernandez, who likes to jump cut a lot.
Also of Abomination.
Yeah,
retire and unretire at the same time.
He's the jump cut man. He's the jump cut jamboree. But then you have Nico Suave, who I hate and I loathe and I dislike a lot. And I feel like that with all of these people here, I just want to see who comes in last. That's the question. So I feel like it's gonna be either Nico or Malcolm because they're on the panel right now. I don't want to suck their dicks. So what I'm gonna do here is this. My prediction is Malcolm is gonna be out first, and then Nico will be out second, and then bada bing, bada boom. I feel like that's my prediction. Hold me to it.
All right, we have a little bit of time here.
If that actually happens, I will watch the 90-minute We Didn't Start the Fire with Brooklyn. I will join him for that hell on earth.
So what you're saying is if Chris goes perfect in the Iron Man match and then you lose, you're joining me, right?
I'm saying if his prediction for the Full Metal match is correct and he ends up winning his Billy Joel match.
He has to. He has to go perfect. He has to answer all 50 questions correct.
I feel like if I miss like 3, I should still be.
But then you have a lower accuracy because of the WWMG admin page. You were going on about what's the record for Iron Man matches? What's record for Iron Man matches? And I believe
I got
the wager is if he goes perfect. The wager is if he goes perfect.
The first person to go perfect in an Iron Man match.
All right. If that happens and you completely predicted the outcome for me and Malcolm for Full Metal correctly, I will join Brooklyn, and we will watch We Didn't Start the Fire for 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Wow.
All right. Very quickly, I want to, because we have a little bit of time here for the next show, so I want to talk about Jukebox Heads Up. As you guys saw on Wednesday, JTH took on Zadie Smith in what was a
match.
It was a match. It was a hard one to kind of host because I feel like JTH just got some bad luck in round 1 and round 2 and wasn't really able to kind of pick up any steam. And Zadius was able to go, I believe, 4 of 8 in round 1, and then round 2 he got Britney Spears, which was pretty good. And then that's all he had to do pretty well. Matthew, I see you raise your hand. You got something to say?
I just want to say I did all of JTH's questions in the chat room because I like to play the format. I scored 26 points on JTH's question.
Congratulations.
Jukebox champion of the world,
Would you
right
like a medal?
here, Matthew Rosa.
Matt, do you want a cookie?
Well, Matthew has to go through 7 other people. One of them is actually also on this panel. So the bracket that we have is Jeremy Adams, the number 1 seed, 2-0 2 KOs, is going right up against Jeff Varyu, 1-0, who made an impressive debut. Then the winner of that will take on Danny Koss versus Jim Green, 2 guys who are making their return to Heads Up. Then we also have Paul Yama taking on Zadie Smith. And then what's going to be really exciting, and I think is going to be Matthew Rosa versus Russell Howell. Russell is very quiet about his music knowledge, but what he knows, he knows. So I want to kick it to Malcolm first, as somebody who is a seasoned veteran in jukebox trivia. What is a matchup that you're really looking forward to?
I'm probably looking forward for Jeff's matchup actually because. His debut was impressive. It's like I figured it could end up coming down to Jeff versus Matthew at the end.
Jeff, actually, kind of a great segue. Great to you. How do you feel about going up against Jeremy, and then the potential, if you do make the finals, knock on wood, that you could potentially be going up against Matthew Rosa? How do you feel about the panel?
So these are all good competitors. I mean, going up against Jeremy round one's not going to be easy, but if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best sometimes. So I just got to take each question as it comes, and I know even if I beat Jeremy going up against Danny, I mean, he and I like mesh so well together on our music tastes. And then if going past that, even potentially going up against Rosa, Rosa's no joke. I mean, I think it'll be a very entertaining heads up regardless.
For sure. Nico, I want to go to you next. I mean, obviously you're going to be rooting for Matthew and Zadius, fellow faction members in the House of Night Furies. Night Furies. I did speak there, maybe intentionally. But other than Matthew and Zadius, who are people to look out for?
For me, the Jeremy Jeff match is a toss-up. Just because, like, I having been a member of Atomic Nation at one point, I'm aware of what Jeremy brings to the table. But I have not seen any of Jeff's past performances in the Jukebox Trivia ring, so I don't really know what he brings to the table. He could surprise me for all I know. So for me, that's a toss-up. Jim Green, you know my beef with him, so I'm rooting for Danny Nost. So yeah, screw you, Jim.
Danny Cost, by the way.
Yeah, Danny Cost.
He is not a relative of Matt Nost. Matthew, I haven't went to you yet, right?
Huh? No,
I haven't. No, perfect. Okay, so how do you feel going up against Russell, and then what do you think is the key matchup in this heads up?
Well, a little bit of inside baseball here. The second the matchups were announced, Russell threw his hands up and said he was going to lose, and I don't like that mentality. I'm not coming in with the ideal that a lot of other people have, that I'm going to walk through this tournament and that it's going to be no problem. I don't think that at all. I think Oyama is dangerous. I think Jeff is dangerous. I think Jeremy is dangerous. I think Danny is dangerous. I don't think Jim is dangerous. I'm sorry. But I am pretty intimidated by the majority of the tournament bracket. And after seeing the categories, a lot of people picked categories that I'm very strong in, especially contemporary Christian music. I'm really looking forward to that category.
That actually got changed. It changed.
What?
He's taking 90s alt rock.
That's even easier. But contemporary
although I am kind of sad, I'm kind of sad. I was really excited. I was very kind of excited to write some Christian stuff as somebody who's played music industry.
You need to do a contemporary Christian music Iron Man match for East.
Dude, I'm down. Put me in.
I'll happily take Nephew on in Christian music. So,
Chris,
playing in the background for the entirety of that match.
Oh no, that's more like listening to Creed is more torture than listening to We Didn't Start the Fire and Uptown Girl back and forth.
I would argue.
You guys are wrong. Creed have a couple great albums, and I'll fight about it.
Chris, these 8 names, I think you have beef with 1, 2.
I have beef with all of them. I have beef with anybody. I'm gonna just say this: anybody in any league, I have beef with you unless I say otherwise. I'm an asshole to everybody, and I like that, and I deserve that, and I frolic in that fancy. The thing is, though. Everybody here, I mean, this bracket is pretty strong, but it's missing Cody Newberry, who TKO'd his opponent with 4
Want to know what the
points.
TKO is a better record than Jeff Argue?
Cody TKO'd his opponent with 4 points. You cannot deny the power of Cody fucking Newberry.
You can't even argue that it's based on accuracy because I have better accuracy than Oyama. Explain yourself, Brooklyn.
You've heard it here. You've heard it here first. Chris Clark is defending a member of Atomic Nation. Therefore, he is an Atomic Nation supporter. You have heard it here first. Get your Nation.
No.
Point gate.
Look, I'm just. Oh my, Paint Boy. Oh wait, that Point Gate. Oh, Point Gate. Yeah, that. Wait, what's Point Gate? Oh, because I got 0 points in round 1. The thing is, though, guys, look. You have Danny Nost versus
Cost.
Danny Cost.
Oh, Cost. Okay. Danny.
What have I done?
Yeah, Danny Cost, who is a huge I saw his match. He did really, really well. I can see Jeff doing really, really well. I don't know why Matthew Rosa keeps like flashing me with his whiteboard, but you know what? It is what it is. If he keeps flashing me with his, I got Matthew Rosa winning this entire thing. He is going to pile drive everybody, and I have no idea. I'm probably going to be able to engineer a couple of them. I will see. I will give
Oh
everybody
no,
shit.
this is all one video.
Oh, it's all one video. Fuck.
It's all one video.
It's great.
This will be done on the great Google Hangouts.
Okay.
Thankfully this has been a lot easier to schedule. If anybody remembers doing this in March, the first match took like about 2 seconds to schedule. The next one took about 3 weeks. Just trying to find dates that worked.
Good luck. I hope that it
is a scheduling nightmare, and tentatively we have a time and date. I believe it is going to be August 20. It's the last Monday in August. Is when they're going to be doing this.
Okay.
So we do, and then we do have a couple matches in between. We're going to have Malcolm versus David Jimenez, and then I think we're going to do a dance off. But the jury is still out on that last one. But that takes us into our next session, which is the movie news. But actually, before we get into the movie news, cool kids in the chat. What kind of cool kids do we have in the chat here? Star Drew, the cool guy. I'm not sure who you are, but the cool guy is
Andrew Hayes.
Is it Andrew Hayes?
I think so.
Is that Andrew
cool.
Hayes?
Is it? Jonathan Peck is in the chat. Who else we got? We have the usual suspects. Great crowd, very active chat. But I think this will kind of spark some more chat as we get into the movie news topic. And boy, there were some headlines for sure. So I'll just run them through right quick, and then we'll kind of talk. And we'll just see where the conversation kind of goes. So first off, we have Adam Pally and Nico joined the movie Sonic the Hedgehog. Ben Schwartz is said to be doing the voice of Sonic as well, and Jim Carrey was supposed to be the villain, but I don't think it is 100% confirmed that he's going to be Dr. Robotnik. The Oscars, it is 100% confirmed. Perfect. That's what I love to hear. The Oscars are rolling out the quote popular movie award that is going to be starting in 2020. That has definitely had no negative effects whatsoever. Dave Bautista is threatening to leave Guardians of the Galaxy over Gunn's script. That was immediately followed by Marvel actually siding with James Gunn, so I think Marvel is trying to be the middleman in that. Sony, the thing that was kind of depressing for me, Sony had moving Venom down to a PG-13 rating, and then Silver and Black Cat being split into 2 films, and then there's a toss-up whether or not Spider-Man's going to be in the movie, is not going to be in the movie. Some things that concern me. And then so I think something that just happened later this afternoon, there was an announcement of a second Simpsons movie, and then finally a Family Guy movie that is being in development in the Fox neck of the woods. So Jeff, I'm going to go to you first. What stands out to you the most?
The thing I've been following the most right now is the Disney James Gunn debacle right now. It's so back and forth right now, and there's a lot of gray area in this. My personal take on everything, yeah, they dug up stuff from James Gunn that was from how long ago, and yeah, it was a little tasteless. It is his brand of humor. Is it worth him getting fired over? No, I don't think so. But the fact that the whole cast and Bautista himself being very vocal about James Gunn staying on shows that they have a lot of respect for him and his craft, and I admire that. But I like the fact, too, that Marvel is trying to be the middleman, like you said, and talk with Disney about trying to get him back into the fold. So I hope things go amicably. I don't want it to go dirty. I hope whether or not James Gunn comes back in or not, I hope everything just goes amicably.
Yeah. Nico, I'm going to go to you next. Can you just splurge for a little bit while I go grab a drink?
Yeah, so just to follow up on what Jeff was talking about, yes, they're passionate about keeping James Gunn on because he is essentially the heart and soul of the first 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies and the tone they set. At the same time, Bautista's other big gripe with this issue has been that the reason James Gunn lost his job in the first place was due to a cyber Nazi. I mentioned this last week when I was on. Mike Cernovich, the dude was a regular on Alex Jones' show, which has been now taken down from all of social media because of the fact that Alex Jones was putting the lives of the families of the Sandy Hook massacre victims at risk. Cernovich has been responsible for things like Pizzagate, Gamergate. He made lies about Hillary Clinton. And basically, if you oppose him or Donald Trump in any way, he will call you a pedophile and he will run you into the mud. So that's basically the other big part of why the Guardians cast is standing up so highly for James Gunn, is because they don't want a cyber Nazi, especially one affiliated with like the Alex Jones show, to win this battle. And secondly, I heard that like Kevin Feige might not have even been told from the start that Disney was giving James Gunn the boot. So it's a very rocky place right now in the Walt Disney Company and their relationship with Marvel Studios because of this incident that happened. But I'll move on to something else. Sony, for the third time now, they are putting the cart before the horse in terms of universe building with their Spider-Man products. They did it with the first Spider-Man trilogy. They did it again with the second Spider-Man, duology. It was supposed to be a trilogy, and that ended up not happening. And now with Venom, again, they're like, we want to build a universe, but we also kind of don't. We want to be part of the MCU, but we also kind of don't. So we're just like trying to micromanage, and we'll do PG-13 so that way we can figure out where to go next. And it's maddening. They've done this 3 times in the past 2 decades. It just give everything back to Marvel. If you're doing this 3 times in a row, that's 3 strikes. You're out.
Malcolm, I want to go to you next. I know we were talking previously. You were the one that brought up the Sonic news, but then you got a little disappointed when I reminded you about the new Oscar awards.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've talked enough about the James Gunn thing myself, so I leave that. But yeah, this Best Popular Award, why? I mean, yes, it's good that like movies to be something, but I mean, doing a Best Popular Award does not make any sense whatsoever. I mean, I am hoping that they use this award for what the BAFTAs do. I can't remember what they call it, but they have award that they get movies that get nominated, and I think they get announced there. I know they have a fan voted award in the BAFTAs, so I'm hoping this one is similar to that. Otherwise, it just makes a lot of sense, because really, who decides on what movies get nominated? And I actually said this, like, if they do the box office and take, say for this, for we can take top that's going to end up being nominated. From what I've heard about it, it's not that great. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah. And all the other 4 are Disney movies, Disney-owned properties. So I mean, people go. Well, obviously it's going to go to Disney. The one I'm actually going to go to now is the Simpsons, the Family Guy movies, because I've been mainly thinking this Family Guy movie sounds interesting, because it's actually going to be a live action animation hybrid movie. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do that, because obviously Brian's going to be animated. Being live action, but it's a lot of it.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
you're cutting out really bad.
I don't know about you guys, but Malcolm did one of the greatest Chance Ellison impressions that I've ever heard. So props to you, Malcolm. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Matthew next. What is some of the news that stood out for you this week?
I don't know how anyone thinks that a movie being a live-action animation hybrid is a good thing. There is one good one of those. It's called Roger Rabbit. And other than that, like the Smurfs.
Space Jam.
Ted,
is really
Ted
fun.
World.
The The first 10 was pretty good, and Looney Tunes Back in Action is really good.
Sure. I'll let you have that. Anyway, the Simpsons movie interests me because the first Simpsons movie was great, and I feel like they can if they put in a lot of effort, they can make another great Simpsons movie. The show itself is not very good anymore, but the movie was really, really good. So I'm assuming they'll do the same thing they did with the movie and pull out all the stops to make a great animated movie. Yeah, I think the only logical course of action is for James Gunn to eventually be reinstated. Maybe he won't, but we've seen this story happen before with like controversial thing happens. There's a controversial person getting kicked out of something, and then either they find a better job or eventually everyone goes, "We're sorry," and they bring him back, and it's a big, welcome back kind of deal. I mean, we've seen it with wrestlers, we've seen it with bands, we've seen it with movie stars. It happens. And it's a story that we've seen 1,000 times before, and we'll probably see 1,000 times again, because there's nothing new under the sun. And Venom as a PG-13 movie just makes me even more sure that I'm not going to go see that piece of crap.
I'm hopeful, and I'm hoping that, I'm crossing my fingers, because I do think the trailers look good. And I think Tom Hardy has the potential to be a really good Venom. I know people were kind of shitting them on the dual voicing. I think the dual voice thing is kind of what makes Venom so unique, I guess, because it is not a person taking on it's not a person taking on a new identity. It's a symbiote taking over a person. Excuse me. So they are kind of a 2-in-1, similar to Firestorm in the DC. But Chris, I want to go to you next. What are some of the big movie things that stood out for you this week? Yes.
I really hope that he's played by that guy at Comic-Con. I was muted there for the stream. So as I was saying, I'm really looking forward to the Family Guy movie because I want the guy from Comic-Con, the Peter Griffin guy, to be Peter Griffin. That would be perfection. But for the Simpsons movie, the first movie took so long to write, and they reworked it, and they rewrote it to make it as perfect as it can be. I can see that they've probably been working on this movie probably since the last one was released, and I cannot wait to see, because those guys are really quality driven. Like you can say that the later seasons are not as good as the earlier ones, and that is due to design. The humor in this day and age is not as strong as it was in general in the pop culture than it was back in the 90s. That's why The Simpsons seem so good earlier than they do now, because really anybody on the internet can make fun of something, and it just seems like The Simpsons are old because they're not South Park. They don't make an episode in a day. It takes about 6 months for an episode to go from story to completion. Maybe the jokes don't land because they're old when they get to the production stage. But look, I can't wait for the movie because I can totally see that it's going to be a flashback back to the golden era. Also, not movie news, but King K. Rool is in Smash Bros. That is
yes, he is.
Okay, so
that is
Simon
fantastic.
Belmont is more exciting, though.
Yep.
But can we talk?
K-Rool is.
Can we talk about that real quick? Because I did watch that the hour that it came out. So Simon Belmont is cool. I haven't played Castlevania games, but I hear they're pretty fucking cool.
Awesome.
But as somebody like Chris who loves Donkey Kong 64, King K. Rool is pretty fucking cool to be in Smash Bros.
And his final smash is from DK64, the Game Over screen, which is insane. Yes, he's somebody who should have been in Smash.
Dark Samus and Crom, both also cool enough.
Are Echo Fighters, yeah.
They're Echo Fighters, but now I have a third area to King DDD and Warrior, which is King.
Crom is technically an Echo Fighter, but he's actually an echo of 3 different characters, which is very cool.
I thought he was just an echo of Roy.
He's officially an echo
he's
of Ike.
An echo of Ike.
I think.
Oh, okay.
But he has Roy Up Air, He has Marth's over B. Like, he has moves from all three of those characters.
Yes.
So he's going to be very good.
In December, when it comes out, we're going to have a giant Switch tournament. Whoever has Switch, we're going to do a Smash tournament on Take-3. It's going to be fantastic. But yeah, the thing is, though, this game is going to be perfection. It has everything. It has over 100 stages. It has over 900 pieces of music. It is insane. And there's
Still
one
more
mode
characters
that
to come.
there is. And dibs on Pit. Yeah,
you have Pit.
You can have Pit. Pit's pretty good, I guess. But yeah, that Smash Ultimate is
with that sword twirl.
oh god. The thing is, though, that game, they're making it to be the end all. So I can see that this Smash Ultimate is probably going to be ported over to many more Nintendo systems to come. They do not need to make a new Smash Bros. They're just going to enhance it.
Yeah, it's after I said pretty much done with the franchise.
Yeah.
After this.
So this is actually a lot better than the question that I did have for the guys. Kind of like a general discussion question, because I was going to say what is the next Oscar that people should do, and I think that's kind of a question that's been kind of tugged at way too many times. So the question that I have for every panel, did we lose Jeff, or am I crazy?
No, I'm here.
Okay. So you're not. Okay, you don't show up on my screen. That's weird.
No,
Anyways, so my question is, if you do play Smash Bros, what is your main, and who is if you could put in a character, who would you put in and why? I will go first, if you don't mind. So my three mains are Kirby, Luigi, and Rob. I think Kirby kind of got nerfed in Smash Bros. Smash Bros. For the Wii U, so I've been kind of sticking to Luigi and Rob. But I am on that train of Banjo-Kazooie need to be in Super Smash Bros.
Way to take mine.
Can't happen though.
It can.
Definitely
The head
can.
of Microsoft about a year ago tweeted out that he is open to the idea, so there is hope.
We'll go to Jeff, who is pretty quiet over here.
My main go-tos in Smash usually are DK, Ness, surprisingly enough, and Marth. Those are usually the three I go with the most. I was mostly just a throwback to the Melee days, back playing on GameCube. Melee was the best.
Game. Still a great game.
Oh hell yeah! As far as who I would love to see, I want to see Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day get in this. That would be an interesting character to introduce because he's so out of the norm, and I think it would be really interesting.
Matthew, you've been sitting pretty patiently. Who would you throw one and why?
All right, I main Cloud, Jigglypuff, and DK are my three mains. I would love to see. Well, honestly, you know what? I'm gonna say one that I would have loved to have seen, but now I know isn't gonna happen. Would have loved to have seen Shovel Knight, but he was
He's an assist trophy, though. Yeah.
He is an assist trophy.
Heartbreaking moment for a lot of people. They called it the assist trophy massacre, as tons of people who characters in the game just got revealed as assist trophies. But you know what? I feel like I'm gonna go a little bit obvious because this is pretty much people think it's gonna happen. I want Crash or Spyro. Those are the two.
Yeah.
I think Crash is probably the more likely of the two, although Spyro would be pretty fucking cool.
Well, both the trilogies are coming out on the Switch. It'd be great promotion.
Yeah. Malcolm, do you play Smash, and who are your three mains, and who would you want to be in the on the roster?
I don't play Smash at all, but I will say this: with it being on Switch, and Switch doing their third-party things so that you can get third-party games, I wouldn't be surprised if they'll do Switch-exclusive characters, such as from other companies, if they can get them to be in, such as like the Skyrim-related character or something like that. So that could be an interesting one if they could throw in third-party ones as well as exclusives for Switch.
Yeah.
You have Snake.
Oh yeah. Nico, I'll go to you next. Who are your three mains, and who would you want to see in Smash Bros?
So I mentioned before Pit. I just like the double sword that can also serve as a bow and arrow, and the fact that he can fly. It's like an aesthetics choice for me. Yoshi, he's always one of my go-to guys, even if he's not up there in terms of like the best player in the game. I'm a fan of Yoshi. The Pokemon trainer is also pretty fun to go with. With the new version of Smash coming out, I'm very curious to try Princess Daisy, and also I really want to try out Bowser's new super move, where he can basically become a kaiju, which we will talk about later on. Kaiju overall. In terms of characters I would want to see brought in, Silver the Hedgehog. The telekinetic.
Elaborate.
Silver the Hedgehog is the telekinetic white hedgehog from the future that people remember from the Sonic 2006 game that they don't want to remember. He is telekinetic. He can levitate under his own power. I feel like that opens up the door for an interesting move set.
Yeah, that sounds... Silver is interesting, especially like Sonic characters in general. Shadow, I think, was kind of. I know Shadow's an assist trophy, I guess, and I can't say Knuckles because Knuckles is now an assist trophy. But even like Metal Sonic, I think would be a good Echo fighter, and I think Amy could also have a very interesting moveset, especially with that hammer. But Chris, who are your Smash mains, and who would you like to see?
Just a correction: Shadow has not yet been revealed as an assist trophy in all.
Oh, he hasn't.
Yeah. So he is very seriously being considered a new character.
So
he wouldn't be an Echo though, because his moveset is so different than Sonic's because of the gun.
Yeah, it'd be very different.
Yeah.
And the fact that they put a blunderbuss on K. Rool makes me think that they'll allow the gun for Shadow. I'm surprised they got away with a blunderbuss with K. Rool in this day and age. But anyway, since K. Rool has been confirmed, he was my #1 pick to be in the game because of my admiration for DK64. But with all the Sonic stuff, we have everybody's main villain except Sonic's. We need Dr. Eggman. I think Dr. Eggman will be a perfect fit. He has so much unique capabilities. The fact that Tails also has been absent from this entire series baffles me. He's not even an assist trophy. I think Tails needs some representation somewhere, but I think Dr. Eggman has it in the bag. As for my mains, I would say it is Wario. Wario is one of the funnest people to use. You can fuck people over with his bike, which has great knockback. The fart is a great KO move, but he also has great animations, along with King DDD, which is also my second main. I don't really have a third main. I used to main in Melee Doc, but Doc sucks in the new game, Doc Mario. And Kirby really rocked in Melee, but now he's not really that viable. So it's really Wario and DDD the fun, and of course I'm going to main K. Rool in the new one. But this is insane. Like this what's coming up and what's coming out is gonna be so much fan service. I think I hit everything. I don't know if Silver is an interesting pick just because Sonic 06 is such a detested thing. I would also like to see Big the Cat as an assist trophy, fishing and making people use the fishing controls as their smashes. That would be insanely broken. But yeah, a lot of I also, for Sonic, and it's just general representation for Sonic, is that his 2 stages in Smash suck. They're both Green Hill kind of stages where his entire catalog of stages are so vast and creative that they're just sticking with the norm.
We need Casino Zone.
Yeah, we need Casino Zone, and we need better music, because the music for Sonic, there's a lot of good tracks that just don't go used. I say that with the Wario series too. Wario has a lot of great representation with WarioWare, no representation with Wario Land, and a lot of great music and tracks could be used for that as well. So I hope that Smash just balances everybody's series is better, like they do with a couple of other characters.
So when you mentioned Eggman Dr. Robotnik, the first question that I have in mind is he going to be a mech similar to Bowser Jr., or is he just going to be a straight up character? Because the one thing, like, when I first saw Bowser Jr. as a mech, I was kind of pissed off because I was kind of hoping that they would do something similar to how he was Super Sunshine, where he was a very quick, agile person, and they'd use that paintbrush a lot. So it's kind of
that's his final smash.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the mechs, and I think they kind of turned somebody who could be a fast speed character with some good range to kind of a bulky mech.
Yeah, with Bowser Jr., he's a representation of the Mario spin-off series because of Mario Kart. That car side B is a reference to that. That's why you have it like that. And it's better that way because then Bowser Jr. is just too small and his hitbox would have been weird to program. So I'm satisfied with Bowser Jr. I probably wouldn't have put Bowser Jr. in there, to be honest. He was a kind of what the fuck kind of pick for me.
Yeah.
But he's another villain.
Also R.I.P. Koopa Kid.
Well, Koopa Kid, that he was only in the Mario Party series, and he was kind of bland.
Yeah, I never Koopa Kid.
No. All right, so that takes us right into the theme of the show. With the release of the Meg this weekend, we decided to talk about some movie monsters and the ones throughout history. And I know I'm gonna go to Matthew first. Actually, what are some of your favorite ones?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna take one first that kind of isn't fair. So he's not technically a monster, depending on who you ask. The Iron Giant has to be up there for me, depending on whether or not you count him, because some websites do, some websites don't. It's a debate. But Mothra is, of course,
interesting.
Amazing. Mothra is always going to be one of the coolest to me. Godzilla, of course. King Kong, of course. Those are gimmies. One really underrated character, Ultraman. Huge fan of Ultraman. Ultraman vs. Godzilla is amazing. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it.
Yep, in Germany, he's technically King Kong in a mech suit. That's what it translates to. Ultraman is technically, apparently in the German translation,
brilliant.
He's King Kong in a mech suit.
And also, give me the Cloverfield monster. I think Cloverfield is one of the best monster movies that's ever been made, and it really inspired a lot of fear in a monster that you don't even see until the last 30 or so minutes of the movie. And when you do see him, he's not really too disappointing. He's a great-looking monster. He's not as great looking in Cloverfield Paradox, but that's because that movie had all the budget of a potato. But overall, I love the Cloverfield monster, and those are my favorite kaiju.
Malcolm.
Yeah, I mean, bouncing off Matt's Cloverfield monsters, me, topped monsters that reach the greatest is King Kong and Godzilla. They're the two biggest ones. They're the ones that most people instantly when they go back to here. Yeah, those are the ones that come to mind at the moment.
Nico, what are some of your favorite movie monsters? I know, kind of talking beforehand, you were gonna you admitted that this is not one of your kind of sort of strengths, I guess. So I'm kind of curious to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so probably the worst movie monster of all time is Harvey Weinstein.
It's waiting for that.
He's a form of the Blob.
Other favorite monsters, James P. Sullivan from Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
That's actually cool, yeah.
A bit of a cop-out answer, but
that's not a cop-out. That's a movie monster.
That's a monster, technically.
I would, yeah. That's a good one.
But yeah, like, because a lot of the monsters that you guys are gonna mention or have already mentioned, those monsters can't talk. We actually get to understand what Sully is thinking and feeling, and we get to watch him grow and make choices that differ from what he thought at the beginning of the movie, now at the end of the movie. And so it's cool to see like a monster get humanized in that way. The Lone Kaiju movie, if this even counts as a kaiju movie, well, it's an old monster movie. The one that I've seen for sure is the one with Nosferatu in it. I remember I saw that movie as part of like my first semester of college. I was in a film class.
Very creepy.
Yeah, just like so weird. But yeah, I'm probably going to lose the debates later on. So those are my monsters of choice.
Very interesting for sure. Chris, I'll go to you next. What are some of your favorite movie monsters?
Well, I mean, I would say, Nico, that pick of Sully is a very good pick. A really good pick, actually. It's very solid. The thing is, though, with a movie monster, it has to meet a couple of criteria. Does it feel like a misfit? Does it feel like it's out of its own skin and its environment? Does it cause a lot of chaos? Is it entertaining? Is it something that will, in the third act, either live or die? That's kind of what a monster kind of encapsulates. It's the fear of being shunned. That is essentially what a monster feels like. They don't feel like they belong. That's the instance with Godzilla. That's with King Kong. That's with Frankenstein. And yes, Kong 33, Kong is going to be my main argument for this thing. But I want to bring out a couple of monsters that I love. And that is, my favorite kaiju monster is actually, if you've ever seen War of the Gargantuans, it's the two gargantuans that are attacking Japan, and the one is evil, one is good, and the good one fights its evil brother because it doesn't like how its evil brother is eating. Have you guys ever seen War of the Gargantuans? It's one of the best things ever. But the gargantuans would be up there. Another movie monster feels like an outsider is from Tim Burton's Batman Returns, and that is Danny DeVito's Penguin. That is literally a movie monster. He feels like he is left alone. He is shunned. He is somebody who everybody views him as a monster, and at the end of the movie, he really, literally is. He wants to kill children in the night to drown them in a sewer. That's as close to a physical human monster as you can possibly imagine, and he looks like one. But I'm going to go to Kong. King Kong not just is the best movie monster, he's the greatest movie monster. Without King Kong, you do not have Godzilla. Without King Kong, you do not have the Blob. You do not have the special effects that brought your favorite monsters to life in the film industry because of what Kong perfected. The special effects going into Kong is what makes him the greatest monster of all time, and I'm ready to debate that to the end of time.
All right, Jeff, I want to go to you next. Who are your favorite monsters in the line?
I mean, I know Chris kind of touched on it a little bit with Frankenstein, but I'm surprised nobody really mentioned like the Universal movie monsters yet, like Dracula and Frankenstein, Werewolf,
Hunchback. Yep.
Hunchback. Oh god, what was the other one? The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Like these are like the originals. Like everybody, when you think of movie monsters, these are like the originals. Like these are like the Murderer's Row of what you think of with movie monsters. These are the ones you automatically connect to. And I think without these guys, you wouldn't have a lot of the movie monsters you would have today. And going off that, I mean, some of the other ones that stick to my mind, not necessarily like kaiju, even though I'm a big Rodan fan. I think Rodan is probably one of the best kaiju monsters. Jaws. He made you afraid of the water. He made you afraid of going anywhere even close to an ocean. Predator and Alien, like those, I would say like anything H.R. Geiger has made is amazing. I was like, his effects works good. And another effects shout out, Ray Harryhausen, like anything like Jason and the Argonauts, or like yes, I'll say like anything like he did, like his style was so awesome and helped create really unique visuals for the film genre and for monsters in general. But I think there's a movie monsters can be interpreted in any way. I think we need to pay respect to the originals, like the Universal monsters, but still also embrace the new ones because they throw a lot of shade back to the OGs. So it's going to be an interesting debate tonight.
I think, yeah. Oh, sorry, Matthew, you're going to say something?
We made one glaring oversight. We didn't mention The Thing from The Thing.
Yes,
that was a big.
Thing.
We need to mention The Thing from John Carpenter's The
Thing. The Fly as well. I think The Fly.
The Fly is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fly is a good one.
And
Blah.
I mean,
I like the remake of The Thing.
It's not bad, actually. I think it's actually pretty good.
So for me, So for me, like when you mentioned Jeff, when you mentioned paying homage to those earlier monsters, the first thing that screamed to me is Pennywise. Pennywise is a monster, transforms into your fear. So it is definitely one that causes havoc. And then for me also the Kraken, Clash of the Titans. I am actually a defender of the first remake, not the second one. And also, as much as I hate the ending, the monster from The Mist, the Stephen King book, I think that was one that
That's an interesting take.
I read the book and then I watched the movie. I hate the ending of The Mist. I think it is a cop-out, and I think it doesn't capture the...
The Behemoth. The Behemoth. That's like the most famous one, I would assume.
Yeah.
What's that? Go ahead. No. I actually had nothing. I was going into the next thing, but if you have something, go ahead. Yeah. Also, one of the no. I was gonna say one of the now thinking about it, one of the famous death scenes in all of cinema is Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh yeah.
Just comes right up, eats him. Is he?
Chat is saying they can't hear you. By the way, Clark.
Oh, that's fantastic that they can't hear me. That's awesome. There you go. I unmuted myself. I muted myself briefly for you guys. There you go.
All right. Okay, so how this is going to work, because we have an even panel and then we have our champion actually here, since I normally don't debate, I am just the question writer and the judge, Matthew is actually going to sit out until we get down to one person. So, it is going to be Jeff, Nico, Chris, and Malcolm. They'll be duking it out. They'll go 1v1, and then the winners of those will go up against each other. The winner of that will go up against Matthew for the Late Night with Take 3 Mini Street Art Debate Champion of the World Heavyweight Games Network Association, or as Jeff put it, the initial the L.
There's a lot of letters.
There's a lot of letters. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get you guys to pick a suit from playing cards, so hearts, diamonds, spades, or clubs. Jeff, since you are the new panelist, I'll get you to go first.
Go with diamonds.
Diamonds, okay. Nico.
We going clubbing.
All right, Malcolm.
I've got a big hat.
All right, and then Chris, that means you get spades.
David Spade, yeah. Oh.
So,
Spades.
So, Jeff, you picked diamonds, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, the matchings that we have up are as follows. Jeff is going up against Malcolm, and then Nico is actually going up against Chris. So
they may not have a chance.
I think you will. So Jeff, since I got to pick you first, you're going up against Malcolm. I will remind our competitors that you'll have a 20-second opening as well as a 15-second rebuttal. For Chris, Nico, and myself, we'll be voting. Matthew, you will not be voting just based off of potential bias and shenanigans. So you will get to watch your competitors debate and pick up any tactics that you might. The first question, Jeff and Malcolm. All right, and I'll remind you, if you are first to answer, you will be going first in the debate. Who would you cast as a voice for Meg? Or for the Meg?
James Earl Jones.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
All right, so I heard James Earl Jones first. Malcolm, you will go first. 20-second opening debate. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Well, I mean, with just for anything, you want a nice epic voice for any kind of monster, and James Earl Jones definitely does have that epic voice. I mean, he was Mufasa in Lion King. He was Darth Vader, but I mean, he could definitely bring the Meg voice to a perfect opening.
Time. All right, Jeff, we now go to your opening. 20 seconds begins whenever you start talking.
Okay, so Benedict Cumberbatch has already shown that he has a very dynamic voice range. We've already seen him with Smaug, and the fact that he can get those deep growls in and get those like very ominous tones in. And that just screams a shark right there, because a shark is dark, ominous, you don't know what to expect from it. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great choice. And I think... 3 more seconds. Benedict Cumberbatch for life.
All right, interesting. Malcolm, your rebuttal. Against Jeff. 15 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Well, I mean, the thing about Benedict Cumberbatch is his style of talking is quite slow, and with James Earl Jones, he's shown that he can bring menace into his voice and go. I just don't think Benedict can do that.
All right, interesting rebuttal. Jeff, your rebuttal begins 15 seconds whenever you start talking.
James Earl Jones is a great voice. There's no doubt about it. But you're going to run into the fact that people are going to automatically connect him with being an underwater Mufasa. There's going to be a hard disconnect right there. There's no doubt that he's not good, but not my choice.
3, 2, 1. All right, not even using the entire 15 seconds.
I'm taking Keith David, in case anyone was wondering.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
Less of a disconnect than James Earl Jones. Very similar voice.
I want to give my point. I'm gonna go first. I'll give my point to Jeff because I think Jeff tackled his rebuttal better than Malcolm. I think he got it brought up that James Earl Jones. They're gonna hear his voice is almost too recognizable, and that they're going to associate him with so many other different characters, and he's almost sort of typecast. So I am gonna give my point to Jeff. Chris, who do you give your vote to and why?
I like Malcolm's suggestion better. I like Jeff's argument better. I'm going to give it to Jeff, but look, Benedict Cumberbatch was the voice of Smaug. I mean...
It's fair. Yeah, it's a fair rebuttal as well. I agree.
I'm going to give it to Jeff, but, Malcolm, I think, had a few stronger points than I think is given credit for. So I'm going to say Jeff, but it's very slight. Malcolm, he did a good job.
Nico, how would you have went if you didn't count this?
Well, first off, my choice would have been Clancy Brown, yeah, I feel like I thought Malcolm was going somewhere when he said that Benedict Cumberbatch would have been too slow in his delivery, but Jeff, when he said underwater Mufasa, that won it for me.
Yeah.
It just felt like, Benedict Cumberbatch, we only know him from one specific voice action character. So it feels like there's more room to experiment, whereas James Earl Jones, we already know him from Mufasa, Darth Vader, other characters. Jeff, I feel like he just sold his option better for me.
Cough, Benedict Cumberbatch actually had two. He was also Dormammu in Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I when I was writing this question, I almost put other than James Earl Jones, but I was like, yeah, you could probably make a good argument for against James Earl Jones, so quite glad I did. So now we will go to Nico and Chris. The winner will go to play Jeff. And the question that I have for you, gentlemen, and I will give you a little bit of time because this is a thinker.
Okay, go for it.
I want you to pitch a sequel for one of the following film franchises: Sharktopus or Sharknado.
So pitch a sequel?
Pitch a movie in one of the franchises. You just have to pick one of them.
I'll do Sharknado.
Okay. So that leaves Nico with Sharktopus, and I'll give you guys a little bit of time. And while we're giving them a little bit of time to kind of come up with ideas, just kind of a small plot, maybe maybe a star or two, not necessarily a director, but if you can, that's great. I'm gonna go to the cool kids in the chat, and let's see who we got in the chat here. The cool guy saying Bill Hader for a voice of the Meg. I think that would have been interesting. Although I am kind of curious about Clancy Brown though as the Meg. I think he has that nice deep voice, and I think, and also especially his performance in Daredevil when he was that the corrupt military officer. I think
I like Jonathan Peck's suggestion of Mila Kunis.
But that means that you have to have Jonathan Brown.
Shut up, Meg.
I'm there, literally just like he's a one-off character. Shut up, Meg. He gets eaten alive, and that's the end of it.
Have the guy who plays Peter Griffin say, "Shut up, Meg," or the Peter Griffin lookalike.
I also see this on the tip of your tongue guy saying, because that turned out so well last time Cumberbatch was a monster. I mean, the Hobbit films are fine. They're
Get more than
I
five.
think.
Come on.
Are we gonna get more than like 15 seconds to pitch this or no?
I'll give you guys I'll give you
I'm in the
45.
middle of the road,
40,
Rose.
I'll give you 45 and 30. 45 opening, 30 second rebuttal.
Okay.
So 45 seconds, and since I heard Chris first, Chris wants Sharknado, right?
I got Sharknado.
All right, so Chris, you're going to pitch a movie for the Sharknado franchise. 45 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Sharknado, Blind Before I Stop. It is starring Vincent D'Onofrio and Danny DeVito. In the state of Oklahoma, there is a drought, and the drought is massive, and they keep getting all of these funnel clouds landing on the beach, and underneath the beach is the sharks, and inside the strip club are shark people, and they pray to the shark in the basement. And when this all happens, the thunderstorm comes out and the sharks come out, and it's up to Vincent D'Onofrio and Danny DeVito, both blind. They are blind. They are blind, but they have senses like Daredevil, and they are out. Danny DeVito, Vincent D'Onofrio, about to get these sharks that are attacking Oklahoma because of this drought. Now, this is what you need. And you have strip club, and you have strippers who are shark people. It smells like fish, tastes like chicken is the title.
What?
Oh my god.
I think we might have broke the internet there. Nico, you have 45 seconds to pitch us a movie for Sharktopus. Yeah, time begins whenever we start talking.
Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Sharktopus 2, Sharktopede. Okay, so the doctor from the Human Centipede saw the movie Sharktopus and thought it would be a hilarious and great idea to do the Human Centipede project with a shark and an octopus. So he takes the butt of a human, sews it to the mouth of a shark with the butt of an octopus, and then just lets it wreak havoc all over New York. The end.
You still have 25 seconds. Give us a cast. Give us a plot.
Emma Roberts, Bruce Springsteen. I don't know why I said Springsteen. I meant Bruce Campbell. Why not throw both Bruces in there too? They get eaten. It's just
10,
Born to run.
9. You still have 8 seconds. 7.
Oh god, I think I sabotaged myself.
2, 1. All right, that is it for your opening. Chris Clark, you have a 30-second rebuttal. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Bruce Springsteen cannot act, but what you gave us was just a first act. What I gave you was a 3-act structure. They have a drought, they find the strip club, everything is going to chaos, and then Vincent D'Onofrio and Danny DeVito, who are blind, are going out to stop these goddamn sharks who are attacking Oklahoma. Blind Before I Stop. Everybody is going crazy. Everybody is. And sadly, in Nico's thing, it's only a one-trick pony. It's a story that we've seen before. It's nothing new. And it just feels like a one-act structure onto something that isn't necessarily... That's...
All right. Actually, a pretty good rebuttal. Nico, 30 seconds to rebut. Time begins whenever you start talking. One word. Sounds like chintz.
Shut up, Meg.
Okay, first off, what are sharks doing in Oklahoma of all places? Secondly, how are Vincent D'Onofrio and Danny DeVito blind but also like Daredevil? Like, did they just expose themselves to a nuclear waste in the face? Where is the story behind that? I fucking hate debates. I'm throwing it. Just give it to him. Just give it to him.
Wow. You heard it here first. A submission by Christopher Clark put his opponent into submission. Although those were some pretty dandy pitches. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. I wasn't sure how the pitches were going to go, but I think it's pretty good. Matthew?
That was like when you watch Max Landis on Movie Fights and they ask him to pitch a movie and it's just over the second he starts talking. That's what that one felt like.
Can we address the fact, too, that Chris said there's a beach in Oklahoma?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Well, I felt like it was a solid story off the top of my head. I had one.
If I had more to actually rebut, I feel like I could have won on just that alone. But I was like, shit, there's still 25 seconds left to go. I've blown my wad.
Andrew Hayes is also trying to get hashtag Shark Strip Club trending on Twitter. So
yeah, and I'd like to say that Jess Morgan is in the chat and saying that she has to work on the debating with you, Nico.
I would like to say that if I got Sharktopus, it probably would have been the same exact story.
It's a Sharktopus combining with a tornado.
Sharknado-pus. Just trying to think.
For the record, I'm going to watch this back when we're done, and I'm going to just look at the chat as they hear the words coming out of my mouth.
All right, so that means Chris and Jeff are going up against each other. The winner goes on to face Matthew Rosa for that coveted, very long named belt. Your question, gentlemen. Once again, the first person that I hear will go first.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple, guys. What is the more terrifying creature? Xenomorph or Predator?
Predator.
I'll go with Xenomorph.
Right. So I heard Chris say Predator first, and we'll go back to our usual format. 20-second open, 15-second rebuttal. Chris, time begins whenever you start talking.
The Predator is something that you could see in real life. He is in the forest. He is something that can get you here in the now on this planet. A Xenomorph, on the other hand, is something in space that is fictional. It's something in space that in a place that you can't get to now in the actual air. So Predator is here, now is going to get you right here on Earth.
All right. Jeff, 20-second opening. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Xenomorphs are one of the kings, or the queens, if you will. They are constantly in production. I'll say you have the queen. She will constantly churn them out and just send an onslaught upon you. Predators, yeah, they may have an army, but aliens will sneak around and just go undetected. And they've made their return to Earth, yeah, in that shitty Alien vs. Predator sequel, but aliens are no joke.
Time. All right, interesting opening. Chris's rebuttal, 15 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
A Predator can do all of that stuff in all of the movie sequels that have preceded the first one. A Predator, though, although a Xenomorph can clone itself, can have all of that shit happen. The thing is, a Predator in this day and age, now in this climate that we're in, is so much scarier. An alien is just a fictional thing.
All right. Jeff, 15-second rebuttal. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Predators, they have to thrive on heat signatures. That's the biggest thing they forget. Aliens, I'm pretty sure, are probably going to be a cold-blooded animal. So a predator is going to have a hard time finding an alien. And before they can even find it, it's going to be too late. They're just going to keep swarming after them until there's nothing left.
This is a debate, like a half debate. Like, we could really keep going.
Oh, hell yeah.
You could, yeah. Malcolm, I want to go to you first. Who do you give the vote to and why?
This is tough because both put up a really good fight. Just on an edge, I'm probably going to give it to Jeff because he kind of won it for me when he said that aliens are probably cold-blooded and probably aren't going to give off any heat signatures, so they would be really hard to find.
All right, I'm going to go next, and I'm actually going to give my point to Chris because I feel like Jeff's rebuttal, I feel like he lost what the meaning of the question. I feel like he lost what the question was. I think he was more so debating who would it turned into like who would win in a fight because he was mentioning like the heat thing and the cold-blooded thing. But the question is, what is the more terrifying creature? And I think Chris had a very strong opening into being Predator Predator is pretty close to like is more realistic happening, and he had some stuff to kind of to sort of back it up. And I think Jeff had a great argument. I think he kind of lost point of what the question was. So it is tied up, Chris. Chris and Jeff each have one apiece. Nico, it comes down to you. Who do you give the point to and why?
I feel like in this debate, Chris and Jeff might have been talking about two entirely different predators. Jeff might have been talking about an actual predator from the movie, and Clark might have been talking about like just predators in real life that are out to capture kids and put them in vans, luring them.
What?
But
I used the examples from the three movies.
The only problem was you kept saying like as if a predator was real, and that was a little confusing.
But still, like the argument for me worked though, and Jeff, I feel like he kind of undercut his opening argument when he mentioned like the shittier films in the Aliens franchise. So I'm gonna give it to the Cobblepot over here.
All right.
Oh gosh!
Wow. So we have Chris Clark going up against the defending, reigning, undisputed champion, Matthew Rosa. Does Chris bring the belt back home to take 3, or does Matthew keep it, defending it for the second time? All right, gentlemen, your question is, what monster has the better filmography?
King Kong.
Kong or Godzilla?
King Kong.
Godzilla.
All right. This went just the way I planned this. This worked out really well. So, I heard Chris say King Kong first, even before I got the choices out. So, 20 seconds, Chris, on King Kong. The time begins whenever you start talking.
Wait, not this. How many seconds did you say?
You have 20 and 15.
Okay. Kong 33. Going by Kong's filmography, Kong 33 made cinema the way it is today. Son of Kong is one of the first monster movie sequels to actually catapult off of that, and was also a groundbreaking film. King Kong Lives, King Kong 1976, and King Kong 2005 were totally great remakes, something that you cannot get from anything else. Godzilla had quantity over quality. Okay. Go for it.
Right. I'll give Matthew 21.73 seconds. Matthew Rosa, 21.73 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
I have no interest in discrediting the King Kong movies. They were great movies. The fact of the matter is, just because they did it first didn't mean they did it better. In 1954, Godzilla was released. It was directed by Ishiro Honda, who is now considered a national hero in Japan due to the amazing film that he created. Godzilla Raids Again was released in 1955. It was just as successful. There have been 33 films in the Godzilla filmography. Only 2 of them have been critically panned. That is a way better rate of success than King Kong, so therefore it's a better overall filmography. Oh, I have 10 more seconds. See, this
No. Time's up.
Oh, okay.
I called 5. Yeah. No. All right. Chris, 15-second rebuttal. Time begins whenever you start talking.
As I was saying, it was quality over quantity. King Kong has 8 films in his filmography. Only one has ever been panned, and that is King Kong Lives. You have to look at all of this down the line. King Kong 2005, one of the greatest remakes ever made. King Kong Skull Island reinvigorated Kong and the actual... Damn it. I think that the time limit's too strict. Damn it. This would have been a good debate.
All right, Matthew, 15 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
I don't know if we watched a different King Kong 2005, but that movie was utter and complete garbage. One of the best films in the King Kong filmography is King Kong versus Godzilla. So they needed Godzilla to make a better King Kong movie. As far as I'm concerned, Godzilla has a better filmography overall because there have been more good films in that movie.
Can I rebut the fuck out of that?
You can't debate it, Clark. Shut up, Clark. You're not allowed to say anything.
We might have successfully put Chris Clark on tilt. Wow.
Oh my god.
So, Nico, I am going to take you out of this voting because of your association with Matthew Rosa. I understand. Just for sake, because this is actually pretty close. I want to go to Jeff first.
Whew.
Oh, Matt.
Oh my God. I will. Oh man, see, this is tough. I was because both had strong openings and both made very good points. Both had really strong rebuttals. I was like, Rosa, wow. I was like, he is just like essentially dropping the mic. However, I think I'm gonna give it to Chris by the narrowest of margin. I kind of defend that King Kong remake. I think it's not trash. It's not great by any means, but it is good in its own right. But I think I'm going to give it to Chris on this one by a very slim margin.
Malcolm, I want to go to you next.
This was close.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Chris on a slim margin as well because he pointed out that it is quality over quantity and his argument for that there has only been a couple of King Kong movies which have been really terrible, and I mean it's kind of an even ratio really, and it's just one of those ones. And also the King Kong remake is actually pretty good, and that's not just because I'm from New Zealand and Peter Jackson directed it.
So I was actually going to vote Matthew because I feel like the King Kong remake opinion kind of wiped out because everybody has an opinion. For me, it was the fact that he brought up that it was 33 movies and there was only 2 of them that were panned, whereas King Kong had 8, but only there was 1. I mean, like when I hear that, I feel like Godzilla is the one that companies want to go after more. But I mean, my vote doesn't count, so that means that year winner and the new Late Night with Take 3 mini speedrun debate champion of the world, Chris Clark.
I don't know how I feel about that, just because I feel like me and Matt could have gone so much further.
Chris, you know what this means. You have to be on the next time we do the show. You're now champion.
That's gonna be tough.
Hometown bias, still the champ as far as I'm concerned.
That was honestly really tough. I feel like if we were extended a little bit longer, what does that say? Kong 05
gate.
I feel like though that the Kong 05 argument was kind of stale just because it has an 82% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Kong vs. Godzilla has, I think, 60 something. So I feel like it is what it is. But me and Matt could have gone for ages because there was so much rebuttal that I could have done to that little pipsqueak. It would have been hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, any King Kong movie is better than the Mighty Kong.
Oh, you guys have you guys ever heard of the Mighty Kong? It's a musical version of King Kong that was released by Warner Brothers Animation. It is one of the worst things.
I'm surprised that Chris didn't bring up like the spin-offs of Godzilla that were kind of shit, like Mech Godzilla, and then I know Winnie Seibold brought it up and critically acclaimed the Son of Godzilla that I guess was supposed.
Those aren't spin-offs. Those are actually part of the main series.
I like the Son of Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh. But the thing is, like, it's a weird comparison because Godzilla has 30 films. Kong only has 8. I would have, it is what it is. I feel like the debate could have gone further.
Yeah. I was with Brooklyn not just because Matt is my partner, but also because like Chris kept mentioning quality over quantity. Well, Matt had quality and quantity. Like that 33 with only 2 panning versus 8 movies with 1 panning. I feel like, and I didn't hear anything in Chris's rebuttal that made me think it sounds similar to what he said in the opening round. I just feel like he got hung up trying to praise Kong so much that he didn't get to actually like attack Godzilla. And I feel like Matt got in the attack, got in the defense, and I feel like we got hung up over like the opinions of Kong 05.
Well, yeah, I need to look at Rotten Tomatoes to see if actually is it really only 2 Godzilla movies have been panned?
I believe it was 3, which is I think what I said during my argument. That was like terribly panned, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
I think you said 2 in your argument.
Yeah.
I think you said 2.
It was.
But I want to talk to Chris. You're the new champion. I mean, how do you feel?
I don't know how I'm the new champion, but I'm the new champion.
I feel like this is very reminiscent of Christian Harloff versus Dan Merle. That Christian was just really more so surprised that he won.
I mean, I will publicly say I'm not going to be able to be on this show as much as I think that you would want. So, I mean, I'm willing to still give it to Matt for the shows, for him, for that sake. But I mean, I hope that like this is like a mini like movie battleground. It's really fun. So I mean, it's fun.
Yeah. Are you gonna pull a GSP? Win the belt, hand it back.
I mean, if you want, you can pull a Sam Levine, and then we just vacate the title.
You know what? Why don't I vacate this title? I want to see what happens. That way that you don't have anybody sitting out next time, and you can go for the guzzard. Because this was just fun. Okay. This was fun. It was Movie Monsters. So I'm going to vacate. Vacated has added another belt to its reign of many belts. Now adds the late night with Take 3 mini spearheavy champion of the One Organization. Man, that vacated guy has been on a tear. But I want to go to Matt Rosa first. Matt, how do you feel? I mean, you won it, you defended it, but then probably one of the best debates that we've had on the podcast. Just unfortunately it didn't go your way. I know I would have voted for you, but it didn't matter. How do you feel?
I'm the longest reigning champ of all time, and this is about to be like Muhammad Ali. I'm going to come back. I'm going to get my title back. I've been dodging the Vietnam draft, but I'm coming back. Don't you worry about a thing. Muhammad Ali will be back. I will float like a butterfly. I will sting like a bee. And I will continue to be the champion of the LNWT3 RDCOT WWMGNA.
Hey. Jesus Christ. That was more of a mouthful than... Oh, I could have said something really dirty. But yeah.
Well, this is... Yeah. I'm feeling frisky. All right. So I'm not sure what the topic is going to be next week. I got to do some research, but maybe... Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do this because the reason that we did comics is because of a conversation that we had in the last podcast. So next week is going to be Smash Bros. We're gonna talk Smash Bros.
Shit. Okay, hopefully I can make it, and then my vacated title is just gonna be vacated. But oh well.
So yeah, next week, because of Smash Bros. Ultimate, we will be talking about the Smash Bros. As a franchise, stages, characters, nerfs, who was overpowered, and who was shitty. Cough, Pichu, cough, cough.
Hey, Pichu in the right hands can be a good character.
I mean, why the damage? Like, what was their whole strategy in putting in the damage?
We don't know how he plays though, because he wasn't in the demo. So
yeah, we actually they may have taken that out.
Oh, okay. I think it made it. I don't know. A lot of characters weren't in the demo that we don't know how they play.
Right. So I want to thank our panel today. That was actually a really good debate and a really good discussion in general.
It's a good episode.
To the newly crowned champion for about 30 seconds, and then vacated the title immediately. Kyle Buckway, Chris Stark, working the cool kids of the world widely.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChrisClark8788. And the reason why I did vacate the title is because every Saturday is the Schmodown Rundown on the Collider Podcast Network, where you can occasionally accidentally see Jukebox Playlist if it's streamed there by accident. But you can find me there. Usually we record those Friday nights, so I'm not usually able to make these. This was really fun, Brooklyn. This is a fantastic show. I'm glad that this is in great hands. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Keep rocking.
Thank you very much to our no longer champion of the Fate 3 Mini Speed Database Worldwide Movie Champion of the Worldwide something blah blah blah. Matthew Rosa, where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on pretty much every social media as On the Tip of Your Tongue. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at OTOYT Music. You can find my single Better Half in anywhere that digital media is sold. We recently crossed the 1,000 play mark on Spotify, so we don't have that annoying little less than 1,000 thing anymore, which was very exciting. And currently talking to a lot of different festivals, a lot of different venues, so who knows, maybe you'll see me in a town near you one day.
I am crossing my fingers for St. Peter's Bay, Prince Edward Island, Canada. Nico Suavio goalie, the Cosmic Night Fury himself. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nico Suave Regoli. That's NicoSuaveRegoli. You can find me tomorrow night on Full Metal Trivia as part of our charity event to help with the Harloff family in their time of need. And you can find me over on Multiplex Entertainment. That's the name of the Facebook group, the YouTube channel. The Twitter is at MultiplexYT. The Instagram is at Multiplex Entertainment Network. The T-Public is just Multiplex in terms of scheduling. We had a movie Warzone match between Alex Warden and Sean Sandberg on Wednesday. It should have been on Monday, but damn you, Australian internet, it screwed us over. Fandom Fight, we had an upload today. It was the Fandom/Geek Division debut for Jeremy the Atom Adams taking on Dominic Rizzi. Tuesday, TV Throwdown will be back. It's a double feature of Zadius Seaman Smith. He's taking on me in the first match and then Eli McKaig in the second match for the Arrowverse Championship. Sports Battlefield is officially back, so sign up on the Facebook page if you want. And the premiere episode of our fantasy football show with Tim Smith and Caleb Coho will premiere on August 29th.
Perfect. I am very excited to be back in Sports Battlefield, as well as I think I made it onto the Fantasy Football League. So I am very curious to see how that is going to go. To the new panelist today, the Big Papa Jeff Vario. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on Facebook. Just look up Jeff Vario. I'm one of the only guys around there. You can also see me over at Worldwide Movie Games Network. I'm there hosting and editing, competing, doing all fun stuff like that. And I guess now's a good time to actually announce something. I have been holding in for a little bit. It's actually been... this has been in the works now for quite some time. Say probably about a year now before I did a whole bunch of this stuff. I'm going to be ready to launch my own podcast channel and some new stuff with that. It's going to be called Machinate Media. I'm going to be dropping bunch of shows with that. I have big plans planned for that. So I'll say I'm not looking to compete with anybody. This is just something I've been working on for right now, and hopefully have stuff out for that pretty soon. So stay tuned, guys.
Cool. Very excited. And what is, if you don't mind me asking, what are the topics that you'll be covering?
We're gonna be talking a lot of movies, music, TV, games. Just kind of talking about everything. Just having fun.
Okay. Cool. Very interesting. Go check it out whenever it does launch. And Malcolm Goldie Lay, where can the cool kids in the world find you at?
You can find me talking about movie franchises on Sunday, and Jeff is going to be on there as well. And also you can find me tomorrow competing in the Full Metal Trivia match as well. And you can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, Stardust, and Twitter at Melkor.
Yeah. And last but definitely not least, I'm the Black Lantern Brooklyn Dale. You can find me right here on Fridays. We probably have to, or it's probably not going to be on Friday this week because I am away for work, so it's probably going to be a Thursday night. But I will have to check in with that. I might even get somebody to take over for that Friday. You can also find me on Jukebox Trivia. We go live every Mondays. Be sure to check us out this Monday, where it is going to be Malcolm Goldie Lay taking on David Jimenez. Nico also wants you to check out Around the League on Sunday, where they have the format now where they don't ask about sandwiches. And I'm very sad that I don't get to find out. I need to know all the sandwich favorites of competitors so I can create the ultimate.
We're working on another show where you can ask as much sandwich questions as you want.
That is what I love to hear. And if you are following the World Movie Games Network page, keep active in the next 12 hours. I'm going to drop something, probably either tonight or early in the morning. It's going to be pretty interesting. Cheers, guys, and as always, drive safely.